I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, June the 20th, brought to you by Arvest Bank. Arvest is more than just a bank. They're a partner with boots on the ground in cattle country. They have decades of experience in financing cow-calf producers, stockers, and feedlot operations in Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. They're looking for cattle people to lend to, guys. For more information, go to arvest.com/agriculture. They're one of the top ag lenders. All loans are subject to credit approval. Also, Unionville Livestock Market in north central Missouri and Creston Livestock Market in south central Iowa. There's not going to be many sales next week, and Unionville's going to have a big special. About 2,900 head for their June 24th Barbecue Appreciation Day sale. World champion livestock auctioneer Dean Edge from Rimbey, Alberta, Canada is going to be on hand to auctioneer. You guys want to go meet him and listen to him sell. He's really good. That sale is going to be at 10:30 in the morning. They're going to have all their best consigners. Of course, the Rock and R is going to have 400 and some their yearling cattle in there weighing 875 to 9. Brundage is going to have 250 head, around 650 pounds, and then just numerous consigners after that, guys. It'll be a big sale, and not many sales going on, so be sure and attend that sale. If you can't, get on to DVAuction.com and view on bid online there. Creston, they're on their July 4th break right now. They will be having a back to grass calf and yearling special on July the 9th. So keep that in mind. Wholesale beef is a rally right now. I mean, you know, we've been going on about crying about how the Packers are losing money and they're in the red ink, and I don't ever believe that. But it does make you wonder whenever choice cutouts are below dressed steers and heifers. Which it had been there for a while, but this thing has been on a rocket sled lately. I don't know if everybody's been paying attention, but boxed beef cutout values, the wholesale beef prices, have gained $62 in the last 8 weeks. Wow. During that, dressed fat cattle have been up $40. So they're outrunning them in a big way. Fat cattle, the live price is up $25, which is impressive, but man, oh man, these boxed beef cutouts are just launching, and it just seems like your packers have finally remembered how to do business and how ruthless they are. They are resisting higher cattle prices, at least this week, and demanding more money for their wholesale cuts. So they're getting back into the black there, and they're also buying quite a few cattle for out front. It seems like almost every deal I've heard of is for way down the line in July. So they're going to start trying to set this fat cattle market up to be taken advantage of, and they're good at that. And typically the fat cattle market is not that great late in the summer. So they're going to be trying to take advantage of that, and they're likely going to get the leverage back a little bit. The cattle feeder has had a nice run here for a long time, and I'm not saying it's fallen out of bed, but they are going to take a little bit back, it looks like. The cattle on feed report comes out here on Friday. Of course, the board was closed on Thursday for Juneteenth. But now on Friday it's open, and we got the cattle on feed report. Your on feed, inventories for June the 1st are estimated to be 98.8%. The placements in May are estimated to be 94.2. That scares me a little bit. 94.2 is quite a bit lower. Your auction receipts were actually a touch higher than they were last year. We had a lot of cattle coming off graze out wheat, and a lot of the cattle stayed on graze out wheat until May because it was so good. but there wasn't any imports from Mexico, and it's kind of up in the air. But I wouldn't be surprised if it don't come out like 96% or something, which wouldn't be terrible. But that 94.2 seems really aggressive. Your marketings, of course, they're going to be down because slaughter was slashed in May, and marketings are only 90.1% of a year ago, guys. I want to tell you about the passing of my good friend Roger Parker. He was a market reporter in Mexico, Missouri, and I supervised him. I'm not sure I really ever told him what to do, but I was his supervisor with Missouri Federal State Market News Service for about 18 years. But Roger was a very good friend of mine. He was headstrong. He was a good friend to a lot of people, taught a lot of people a lot about cattle. He was a Vietnam vet and served the country there, and then became a meat grader, and then moved into market news. And he reported the markets for about 43 years for the University of Missouri. Back whenever Mexico was one of the big three markets, feeder markets in the nation. It was Amarillo, Oklahoma City, and Mexico, Missouri, and that was the big dogs. But that's changed a lot. But when Mexico played out, he was in Callaway Livestock Center and Bowling Green in Macon, Missouri. But he was a good guy. He knew a lot about cattle. He was proud of the job he did. In the last 8 or 9 years or so since he retired, he became a commission agent for producers of Omaha and was buying fat cattle and buying feeders on order there. But gonna miss Roger. He was a good guy. His wife Barbara, and he had 2 children. But really good guy there, and I know a lot of people are going to miss him. He got a tick bite when he was going turkey hunting, and had a stroke right after, and he just never came out of it. But a good friend of mine, Roger Parker. The big sales coming up this week. It's getting light. It's all of a sudden it's still 2 weeks away from 4th of July, and it seems like we're on holiday already. Not hardly going to be many sales. I mentioned that big one in Unionville next week. But I'm going to be going down to the Independent Cattlemen's Association Convention in San Marcos, Texas. Before I do that this weekend, I'm going to go fishing down in the Gulf of America, Port Aransas. So looking forward to doing that. But they will be having some big video sales early the 4th of July week. I'm going to be going up to Pittsburgh, Kansas, to the casino there for the Big Bang Primetime Livestock Video Sale with Joplin Regional Stockyards. That's going to be on July the 1st. Be making plans for that, guys. You should come to it. They have a good meal, and it's something to see. And they're going to have a lot of cattle on that sale there. But then on 2nd of July, going to be going over to the Cross Bell Ranch near Pawhuska, and or Copen, Oklahoma, and going to the Blue Stem Special with Coffeyville Stockyards. That's another big video sale. So if you're in around, try to attend one of those 2 sales. But here at the Feeder Flash, we're all about auction markets. I tell you what, we believe in that, and putting cattle in front of somebody or several people and letting them bid on them until they don't want them anymore. But we like to feature the sale barns, and every month we feature one in particular that's been doing an outstanding job for their customers and having really hot sales. And for this month, the Bimeda Market of the Month this month is going to be Bluegrass Stockyards in Campbellsville, Kentucky. I tell you what, I was talking with Jim Akers at the LMA convention about he's over the Bluegrass yards there, and I said, what is going on in Campbellsville, Kentucky? They're having stick out sales, tops for the nation, and they're sitting in Campbellsville, Kentucky. What's going on here? He said they're just doing a good job. Been getting some pretty good cattle in there, and they can sell them. But congratulations to Campbellsville. They'll be getting a sign to put up in their sale barn, recognize them for Buy Meat a Market of the Month, and I think it's great that they achieved that. Would give you the futures, but Juneteenth happened on Thursday, so we don't have any futures markets there. I'll tell you about the fat cattle market, and we had brisk trading on Wednesday, not so much on Thursday. Had a little bit of cleanup, but not a whole lot, guys. Iowa sold just 260 head. They'd sold 14,700 for the week. All they had on Thursday was some mixed sales, steers and heifers from 236 to 238. But they sold the bulk of their cattle on Wednesday from 235 to 238.50, and that was $5 to $6 lower. Dress sales, 376 on Thursday. On Wednesday, they sold them all from 375 to 380, and then the bulk of them at 376. And that's mostly $4 lower. Steady to $5 lower, but mostly $4 lower. Nebraska sold 1,000 head on Thursday, 18,000 for the week. Basically the same market as Iowa. On Thursday, they sold cattle from 236 to mostly 237, and dress sales at 376. Kansas hasn't sold a lot. They sold 150 head on Thursday. They'd have only sold 1,000 for the week, and their one price on Thursday is $231. That's $9 to $11 lower. They kind of closed the gap last week. The Southern Plains did, catching up with the Northern Plains, and then lost it all back on this week. But it was just not too good at trading there. Of course, didn't sell much. Texas has yet to sell anything, and it's late Thursday, guys. So not sure if they're going to do something on Friday or what. But these packers, they've kind of got a handle on this thing this week. They've backed their slaughter up so much that I guess eventually we finally got. It isn't that the packers are not current. I mean, they're taking them to heavier weights, but these feedlots don't want to get behind on their marketing. They want to continue to market cattle right along where they don't get behind, because if they get behind, they know that these packers will take advantage of them in a big way. So they're going ahead and selling some cattle. Early in the week, there was some basis jumping. I mean, it hasn't fallen all out of bed yet, but definitely a weaker type week. Talk about your box beef cutout values. Choice cuts on Thursday afternoon, $393.79. That was up $492. Your selects at $374.59. That was up $185. But talk about your slaughter. First 4 days of the week up through Thursday, 451,000 estimated cattle slaughter. That's 5,000 less than last week, and another 28,000 less than the same week a year ago. We did not have actual slaughter information. That won't be out until Friday, so we'll look at that later. But talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services, that's Dakota Moss and all his associates there in and around Oklahoma there. They do such a good job, and they're just on top of this stuff all the time. They have no LRPs on Friday here because of the cattle on feed report, so they didn't have any on Thursday due to the holiday. But if you're not particularly happy with your LRP agent, you want something that's in that all day, every day, knows what's going on. The deadline for producers to change their LRP agent is June 30th. So get with it, and you can get a hold of them at Livestock Risk Services, and you can change your policy around to them, and man, they are just all about it all the time, guys. For more information, go to livestockriskservices.com. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index after your sales that they had on Thursday is sitting at 311.09. That's down 141. And if you think it doesn't track real close to your CME cash feeder cattle index, the latest available there was 311.04. So it was a nickel away, guys. It's the best way to track what that's going to be. Talk about your big sales on Thursday. Joplin's Regional Stockyards wean vac special on Thursday. There's a big sale there. They underestimated again by 1,000 or 2 there, but had a big sale. Feeders were rather uneven, just like they've kind of been all week. But the feeders wasn't really what that wean vac special was featuring. It was featuring calves and big calves there that had been long time weaned and had all their shots. And those calves were $5 to $12 higher than the Monday sale, where not so many of them were in that condition. But it was your Superior Steel Sales home of Superior Standard livestock equipment stick-out sale of the day. You look at this automated marker report and look at your best tested weights there. They had 540 head of 4-weight steer calves. They averaged 459 at 406.77. 999 head of the 5-weight steers averaged 534 at 376.42. There was 1,073 head of 6-weight steers in Joplin. They averaged 638 at 350.58. 761 head of 7-weight steers averaged 748 at 314.07. And 957 head of the 8-weight steers averaged 848 in Joplin with a weighted average price of 304.81. Hasn't come off that much, guys. Look at your heifers. 470 head of the 4-weight heifer calves averaged 453 at 372.59. 1,000 head of 5-weight heifers averaged 547 at 339.40. And 647 head of the 6-weights averaged 630 at 318.93. And they had 906 head of 7-weight heifers averaged 749 at 290.53. They are going to be having a yearling special on Monday. I mean, they've just been having big sale, big sale, big sale, and then they're going to have their Big Bang video there on the 1st of July. But just busy times at Joplin Regional Stockyards. They'll have a lot of yearlings on Monday. Talk about some of your impressive quotes from all around. How about Bluegrass Stockyards South in Stanford, Kentucky? They had 60 head of 899-pound steers, bring 309.50. At Paris Stockyards in Paris, Kentucky, they had 83 head of 619-pound steers, bring 382. And your most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday, and your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day, come out of Joplin Regional Stockyards at their wean vac special. It was 85 steers, weighed 646, almost 6.5 at 379. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.